You step on the scale. The number is lower than last week. You smile, but something feels off. Your legs tremble more when you get up. The stairs feel steeper. That jar on the top shelf? Suddenly harder to reach. You're losing weight, yes, but not the way you expected. Margaret, 78, had been proud of her discipline. She skipped breakfast, cut down on portions, walked every morning. "I'm doing everything right," she'd say. But when her daughter noticed she was moving slower and her grandson asked why her arms looked smaller, something inside her shifted. This is a story many seniors know but rarely speak about. Because when we're told to lose weight, we're not warned that the older body plays by different rules. After 75, your body isn't just shedding fat. It's also letting go of something far more precious, muscle, and that loss is quiet. It doesn't scream. It shows up in subtle ways. A missed step, a weaker grip, that moment when carrying groceries feels like lifting rocks. The world praises weight loss, but it rarely asks what kind of weight you're losing. Here's the truth. A younger person might drop 10 pounds and feel energized. But at 75 or 80, those same 10 pounds could be the cushion your body needed to stay stable, mobile, independent. Muscle is more than tissue. It's protection. It keeps your heart stronger, your blood sugar stable. It gives you the strength to rise from a chair, to walk without fear, to hug someone tightly. When you lose muscle, you don't just feel weaker, you become more vulnerable. That's not a failure, it's biology. But here's the twist. Many habits that seem healthy are quietly draining that strength. When Margaret started skipping meals to cut calories, her body read that as a threat. It didn't just burn fat. It began breaking down muscle to survive. And because aging already reduces muscle mass naturally, her body was doubling the damage. What felt like success was actually the slow unraveling of her resilience. If you've felt this confusion, if you've watched the number drop on the scale but felt your confidence drop with it, you're not alone, and you're not doing it wrong. You're just following a rule book that was never written for your age. No one told you that strength matters more than slimness at this stage. No one told you that a smaller waist isn't worth a weaker spine. And no one told you that losing weight the wrong way can quietly steal your independence. But you're about to change that, because what you really need isn't less of you. It's more of what keeps you standing, walking, living. And it starts by challenging one of the oldest myths in weight loss. For decades, the advice has echoed the same. If you want to lose weight, just eat less. Fewer calories, fewer meals, smaller portions. Simple, right? But what no one says, what almost no diet book tells you, is that after a certain age, this rule turns against you. At 75, your body isn't just slowing down. It's fighting to preserve what's left of your strength. Your metabolism becomes more delicate. Your muscles are already thinning, and your ability to bounce back from stress like illness, surgery, or even skipped meals shrinks dramatically. Eating less might drop the scale, yes, but it also drops your defenses. Your body, sensing fewer calories, doesn't just tap into fat stores. It starts pulling from muscle, organs, even bone if the deficit is too deep for too long. It doesn't know you're trying to lose weight. It thinks you're starving. That's why so many seniors who follow restrictive diets end up more tired, more frail, and more prone to falls. They eat like they did at 40, but their body isn't 40 anymore. Joan, 81, thought skipping dinner a few nights a week would speed up her weight loss. It did, but so did her muscle loss. Within 3 months, she struggled to lift her garden hose, a task she'd done all her life. Her doctor didn't blame the diet, but her body did. There's a term for this, sarcopenia. It's the age-related loss of muscle mass. And once it begins, eating less only speeds it up. The cruel part. Sarcopenia doesn't always show on the outside. You can be thin and weak, or even normal weight, and dangerously undermuscled. It's what doctors sometimes call skinny frail. And this kind of frailty doesn't just affect strength. It impacts balance, immunity, even recovery from the flu. Your muscles are your reserve tank. When you cut food, especially protein and nutrients, you empty that tank faster than you realize. Many seniors mistake a low appetite for health. I'm just not hungry like I used to be. they say. But appetite decline isn't a blessing. It's often the body's silent cry for help, a warning sign of inflammation, loneliness, medication effects, or simple undernutrition. If you're eating less and feeling weaker, it's not in your head. It's in your muscles, your cells, your core. And the solution isn't to reverse all your progress. It's to shift your goal from eating less to eating smarter, to nourish the parts of you that keep you standing tall. Because the next silent mistake isn't about what you eat. It's about what kind of healthy foods are quietly working against you. You walk into the kitchen with the best intentions. You reach for the foods you've been told are healthy, a low-fat yogurt, a crisp green salad, maybe a piece of whole grain toast. They're light, fresh, easy to prepare. They look like all the right choices, but something strange happens. A few hours later, you feel weak. Your energy dips. You feel a little dizzy when you stand up too fast, maybe even a bit cold, even though it's warm outside. That's because many healthy foods that work well for younger adults don't work the same way for older bodies. Take that salad, for example. Leafy greens are full of nutrients, yes, but they're also low in calories and protein. For a 30-year-old trying to shed weight quickly, that's perfect. But for someone over 75, it can be a problem. Why? Because every bite needs to count. And if your plate is full of low-calorie, low-protein foods, you may be filling your stomach without actually feeding your body. Then there's low-fat yogurt. It sounds like a smart choice, but many low-fat products are stripped of healthy fats and pumped full of sugar to improve taste. That sugar can spike your blood sugar, leave you hungry again within an hour, and still fail to provide the nutrients your muscles need to repair and grow. And what about toast? Even whole grain versions can be carb-heavy and protein-light, which makes them quick energy, but not lasting strength. These foods aren't bad, but on their own, they're incomplete. And for seniors trying to lose weight without sacrificing vitality, incomplete can mean days of feeling tired, cold, or emotionally flat. Let's talk about emotions for a moment. Because food isn't just fuel, it's comfort, culture, memory. When you remove foods you love and replace them with ones that feel bland, distant, or unfamiliar, you lose more than flavor. You lose the joy that keeps you motivated. It's not about avoiding all diet foods. It's about balance and understanding that your nutritional needs have changed. After 75, your body requires more protein, more nutrient density, and more fat-soluble vitamins to maintain muscle, support joints, and keep your brain sharp. The real danger isn't the occasional salad or yogurt. It's building your entire eating plan around low-calorie foods that don't nourish deeply. Comment invite. Have you ever changed your diet and felt worse instead of better? Tell us below. You might help someone else realize they're not alone. Because recognizing this mistake is powerful. It means you're not lazy or fragile. You're just underfed in the ways that matter most. And when you finally choose foods that feed your age, not your past, you unlock something bigger than weight loss. You begin rebuilding the strength that diet culture forgot to protect. You're moving. That's what everyone says matters, right? Just stay active. So you walk around the block every morning. You sweep the house. You even dance a little to the oldies when no one's looking. You feel proud. You should feel proud. But then, something unexpected happens. Your legs still feel wobbly. Getting up from the sofa takes more effort. You're moving more, yet feeling weaker. That's the cardio trap. Cardio is important. It keeps your heart healthy, your blood flowing, your lungs working. But after 75, cardio alone can't carry your body, especially if it's replacing the one kind of movement your muscles are begging for: resistance. Walking burns calories, yes, but it doesn't build strength in the way your aging muscles need. Over time, endless walking without resistance training can lead to something cruel: muscle erosion hidden beneath a healthy routine. Think of it like this: your body is a structure. Cardio is like sweeping the floors and dusting the shelves. It keeps things clean and moving. But resistance training? That's reinforcing the beams, tightening the bolts, and making sure the house doesn't collapse. Ruth, 80, walked 3 miles a day for over a year. She lost weight? Yes. But she also lost the ability to carry her laundry basket without help. "I thought I was doing everything right," she said. "Turns out I was getting lighter but not stronger." When you rely solely on cardio, your body taps into muscle stores to meet energy demands, especially if you're not eating enough protein or calories. The more you move without rebuilding, the more your strength slowly slips away. And this erosion shows up in small, painful ways. Your knees start to ache not because you move too much, but because the muscles supporting them have thinned. Your balance falters, not from clumsiness, but from a weakened core. But here's the good news. Resistance doesn't have to mean gym memberships or heavy weights. It can start with lifting cans in the kitchen, pressing against the wall, or using resistance bands while seated. The key is intentional movement that challenges your muscles. It's not about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about becoming strong enough to stay independent, to climb stairs without fear, to get out of bed without pain, to live in your body, not feel trapped inside it. You don't have to stop walking. Keep dancing, keep sweeping, but balance it. Add strength, add control. Because what comes next is the most overlooked pillar in senior weight loss, and the most silent protector of all. You've probably heard it before. Make sure you get enough protein. Oh, but what no one told you is just how vital protein becomes after 75. Not just important, essential. And not just for building muscle, but for preserving your life as you know it. At this age, your body begins to lose muscle mass naturally. It's called anabolic resistance. Simply put, your muscles don't respond to food the way they used to. You could eat the same meal you did at 40, and your body would absorb only a fraction of it now. So you need more protein to get the same benefit. The problem is, many older adults eat less as they age. Smaller portions, fewer meals, lower appetite. And when that happens, protein is often the first thing to disappear from the plate. Breakfast becomes toast and coffee. Lunch is a bowl of soup or fruit. Dinner might be a few bites of whatever's easy. That means day after day, the building blocks of strength are quietly missing. And the result? Muscle waste, slower healing, weakened immunity, and most of all, the creeping fragility that makes everyday tasks feel like uphill battles. Let's look at Charles, 79. After losing his wife, his meals became simpler: toast, cereal, sometimes just tea. He didn't feel like cooking, and he wasn't hungry anyway. He didn't notice at first, but after a few months, he struggled to carry the trash out. His shoulders slumped. He bruised easily. He couldn't open jars like he used to. What he thought was grief and age was also severe protein deficiency. Protein isn't just about muscle. It's part of your skin, your immune cells, your organs, even your brain chemistry. When you lack it, you lose more than strength. You lose vitality. But here's the beautiful part. Your body still responds. Even now, studies show that with consistent protein intake and light resistance movement, seniors can regain muscle, improve balance, and reverse frailty, even into their 90s. So where do you start? Small, simple choices. Scrambled eggs in the morning. A scoop of protein powder in your smoothie. Soft cooked lentils or shredded chicken in your soup. Greek yogurt with a spoonful of peanut butter. Cottage cheese, tofu, even sliced turkey rolled with cheese. It's not about forcing down giant meals, it's about making every bite count. If you've been losing weight and feeling weaker, don't ignore the signs. That's your body asking for support. And support starts with nourishment. Not just fewer calories, but better ones. Because even if your appetite is smaller, your needs are not. You still deserve strength, stability, and stamina. And the next piece of this puzzle addresses a habit even more underestimated, but just as dangerous. You don't feel thirsty, so you don't drink. Simple as that, right? But here's the hidden truth. After 75, your body's thirst signal becomes less reliable. That quiet voice that used to say, "I need water," now whispers, or sometimes says nothing at all. And because of that, many older adults live in a constant state of low-level dehydration without even realizing it. It shows up subtly. Fatigue that doesn't go away. Dry mouth, lightheadedness, constipation, a sluggish feeling in the afternoon, even confusion. And still, the thought doesn't occur. I might just need more water. Dehydration in seniors is common and dangerous. It doesn't just dry your skin or give you headaches. It slows your metabolism. It reduces your kidney function. It affects your digestion, your mood, even your ability to absorb nutrients from food. And for those trying to lose weight, this is crucial. Without proper hydration, your body holds on to toxins. Your joints ache more. Your blood pressure can spike, and your ability to lose fat or build muscle drops sharply. The body is nearly 60% water. When that balance tips, everything, from your brain to your bowels, feels the strain. But many seniors avoid water because it's too much trouble. It means more trips to the bathroom. It doesn't taste appealing. Cold water feels harsh. Or maybe it just doesn't feel urgent. That's why hydration after 75 needs to be intentional, not based on thirst, but based on care. And here's the good news. It doesn't have to mean chugging glasses of plain water. Warm herbal teas, broth-based soups, milk, and even juicy fruits like melon, oranges, and grapes can all contribute. Soft hydration, gentle on the stomach, and naturally integrated into your day. Start with small, consistent habits. A warm mug of tea when you wake up. A glass of water before lunch. Broth as an afternoon snack. Keep a filled cup where you sit most often. Not in the kitchen, but within reach. The goal isn't to flood your body. It's to support it. Because even mild dehydration weakens your muscles, reduces your energy, and clouds your thinking. And those symptoms are often blamed on old age, when they're really just thirst in disguise. Charles, who had struggled with fatigue for months, began drinking 2 extra glasses of water a day, one mid-morning, one mid-afternoon. Within a week, his energy lifted. He wasn't young again, but he was clearer, more present, more alive. So ask yourself gently, are you truly tired or just underwatered? Because correcting this one quiet mistake can sharpen your mind, ease your joints, and support every cell in your body. And as we've seen, it's the small, overlooked habits that shape everything. Which brings us to a fear that many seniors carry silently, the fear of strength training, a fear that might be costing you far more than you think. The word lifting often brings images of heavy weights, loud gyms, and sweaty workouts that feel out of reach or even dangerous for someone over 75. You might think, that's not for me, and that hesitation is completely understandable. But what if avoiding strength training is quietly making life harder, not safer? Many older adults are afraid of getting hurt. They worry about straining something, falling, or making existing pains worse. So instead of challenging their muscles, they protect them. They avoid lifting, pushing, pulling, movements that feel risky. But muscles don't stay the same with age. They don't pause, they shrink. And the less you use them, the faster they disappear. Strength isn't just about lifting objects. It's about getting out of bed without wobbling, standing up from a chair without using your hands, catching yourself when you stumble, carrying a bag of groceries, or even hugging your grandchild without fear of falling. When you lose muscle, you lose these abilities. And you don't lose them all at once. It's subtle. It starts with holding the stair rail a little tighter, taking longer to rise after sitting, avoiding certain shoes because your balance feels off. And that's why resistance training is not about fitness. It's about function. You don't need a gym. You don't need machines. You don't even need weights. You need resistance, something for your muscles to work against. Start small, pushing your palms together, rising from a chair without using your hands, holding a soup can and curling your arm slowly, even squeezing a towel as hard as you can. The point is not to bulk up. It's to wake up your muscles, to remind them that they're still needed, still useful, still alive. Let's talk about Evelyn, 82. After a small fall that shook her confidence, she began simple seated resistance exercises with a physical therapist. Within weeks, her steps felt steadier. Her hands opened jars again. Her daughter stopped hovering so much. Evelyn didn't become stronger than ever. She became strong enough to feel free. And that freedom is everything. Because when you stop moving out of fear, your world shrinks. Your sofa becomes your safe zone. Your outings become fewer. Your independence starts to fade. Strength training, gentle, safe, guided, gives that independence back. So if fear is holding you back, let this be a quiet invitation. You can be cautious and courageous. You can protect your body by using it. Because balance doesn't come from standing still. It comes from small challenges, repeated gently until confidence returns. And yet, there's another weight many seniors carry, one that no amount of exercise can fix on its own. A weight that lives in the heart, not the hands. There's a kind of heaviness that doesn't show on a scale, a quiet ache that no diet or exercise routine can lift. It sits in the pauses between phone calls, in the empty chairs at the dinner table, in the long stretches of silence that used to be filled with laughter, voices, or someone simply being there. It's loneliness. And for many seniors, especially those over 75, it's more than emotional. It's physical. Loneliness isn't just sadness. It's stress. It's inflammation. It's a trigger that affects your appetite, your sleep, your hormones, even your ability to heal. The science is clear. Chronic loneliness can increase your risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and yes, even unwanted weight loss or dangerous weight gain. Because when you feel alone, your body responds with survival instincts. Cortisol rises, blood sugar fluctuates, your digestion slows, and your motivation to move or eat well starts to vanish. Meals become a chore. You reach for easy snacks or forget to eat altogether. Cooking for one feels pointless. Your appetite fades not just because your stomach is full, but because your heart is empty. Dorothy, 85, used to love making soup from scratch. But after her husband passed, she stopped. "What's the point?" she said. And little by little, her strength faded with her routines. Not from bad choices, but from isolation. That's why weight loss after 75 isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about who's in the room. Community, even in small doses, changes your body. A shared laugh lowers blood pressure. A 10-minute chat boosts immune cells. Eating with someone, even just once a week, improves digestion, mood, and nutrient absorption. It doesn't have to be big. A weekly lunch with a neighbor, a call from a grandson, a shared cup of tea with a friend. Even joining a community center's gentle exercise class can give you more than just movement. It gives you a reason to show up. And if mobility is limited, connection can still happen. There are phone circles, online support groups, volunteer programs that match seniors with callers. These aren't charity. They're lifelines. Because your health doesn't live only in your body. It lives in your relationships, your routines, your reasons to get up each day. If you've felt this quiet kind of weight, this emptiness that drapes itself over your meals, your schedule, your mood, you're not alone. And you don't have to carry it alone anymore. Because sometimes the most powerful change you can make isn't on your plate or your scale. It's letting someone back into your day. And as we'll see next, even the best intentions can backfire when we trust advice meant for bodies far younger than ours. You open a magazine, scroll through a video, or hear it from your younger relatives. Cut carbs, try fasting, drink green juice, just move more. The advice is everywhere. Confident, loud, and often well-meaning. But rarely is it written with your body in mind. Because the truth is, most modern weight loss guidance is designed for 30-year-olds with fast metabolisms, resilient muscles, and flexible routines. Not for someone whose body has survived decades of change, illness, recovery, and wisdom. When you're over 75, following these trends can quietly backfire. Take intermittent fasting, for example. It promises fat burning and focus. But for many seniors, it leads to missed meals, low energy, dizziness, and muscle breakdown. The body doesn't handle long gaps the way it used to. Instead of resetting, it panics. It conserves fat and burns muscle. Or the low-carb, high-fat trend. It may work for some, but in older adults, cutting carbs too deeply can mean less fiber, slower digestion, and fewer vitamins that keep your brain and heart functioning. Without a carefully balanced approach, it becomes a recipe for constipation, fatigue, and mental fog. Then there's the idea of just move more. But how do you just move when your knees ache, Your balance is uncertain, or you're recovering from surgery. The advice isn't wrong. It's just incomplete. It ignores the starting point and the unique risks that come with this stage of life. Harold, 77, tried a diet he saw online. He followed every step: low calorie, daily walks, protein shakes. In a month, he lost 10 pounds. He also lost his appetite, his afternoon energy, and nearly fell in the shower. What worked for his daughter at 40 nearly cost him his independence. That's the price of advice that doesn't understand aging. And it's not just physical, it's emotional. Because when these trendy diets don't work, or worse, make you feel worse, you start to blame yourself. Maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe it's too late. But the truth is, you're not broken. You're just using a map that wasn't drawn for your terrain. The real power comes in rewriting your own rules, in learning to eat for nourishment, not trends, in choosing movement that builds strength, not exhaustion, in honoring your appetite, not punishing it, because your body is still capable, still responsive, still worthy of care that fits your stage, not someone else's timeline. Comment invite. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Share your experience. Someone else might need to hear it. And once you stop following plans that don't serve you, you begin to see something more clearly. Your body isn't the problem. It's the plan that needs changing. Because what you truly need isn't more discipline. It's more protection, more permission, more strength, and above all, more trust in what your body is still trying to tell you. You feel it when you wake up slower than before, when you hesitate at the top of the stairs, when your clothes fit looser, but your confidence feels thinner too. Maybe you've said it out loud, or maybe only to yourself. My body just isn't what it used to be. But here's the truth that rarely gets said out loud. Your body isn't failing you. It's adapting, responding, trying its best to protect you with what it has left. And if it feels weak right now, if it feels tired or off balance, that's not a sign of defeat. It's a signal, a whisper, one that says, I need something different. So many older adults follow weight loss routines built on restriction. Eat less, move more, cut that out, skip this. But restriction only teaches the body to shrink. What you need now is support, protection, restoration. Your body isn't asking you to give up. It's asking you to shift focus from less food to better nourishment, from move more to move with purpose, from weigh less to live more fully. You didn't come this far to disappear. You came this far to be here, to feel strong in your own skin, to keep hugging your grandkids, to keep tying your own shoes, to laugh without pain, to dance a little, maybe not like before, but still with joy. This isn't about being thin. It's about being steady, safe, supported. And if you've made some of the mistakes we've talked about, skipped meals, overwalked, cut too many foods, avoided resistance, forgotten hydration, eaten alone, followed younger plans, it's okay. You didn't know. You were trying. You were doing your best. But now you know more. You know that muscle matters more than the number on a scale. That protein isn't optional. That your thirst deserves attention. That movement must build, not drain. That loneliness feeds weakness, and connection feeds strength. That your body listens. And now, so can you. So ask yourself gently and honestly, what do I want this next season of life to feel like? Lightness isn't just about pounds, it's about ease, peace, confidence. And those things are still possible. Not by pushing harder, but by nourishing better. Not by following everyone's plan, but by listening to your own body's wisdom. If this video helped you see your journey differently, tell us in the comments what lesson struck you the most. Maybe someone else reading your story will finally feel less alone. Because the most powerful change begins not with a diet, but with a decision. To stop shrinking and start strengthening. Right here, right now, exactly as you are.